Welcome to BigRoad, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our customer training webinar. We're really excited that you selected BigRoad to be your compliance partner, and we're looking forward to working with you. My name is Alex, and I'm a marketing specialist here at BigRoad. I'm responsible for making sure that customers like yourself are educated on both what's happening in the industry and on how BigRoad can help you to achieve compliance. Joining me today is Julie. Julie is a member of our in-house customer success team, and she's responsible for guiding you through how to actually use our solutions. At BigRoad, it's really important that we enable our customers to be successful by ensuring that you know how to properly use our products. Our goal today is to walk you through how to use the BigRoad mobile app and web app so that you can get up and running fast. So this is specifically a BigRoad training session today. We also run BigRoad Fleet Complete training sessions every other week, where we show you how to use BigRoad alongside the Fleet Complete solutions. If you're looking for one of these training sessions, you can find them on the Fleet Complete website. Before we get started, I'm going to go over the agenda for the session. So I'll start by explaining how things will work. This is a live training demo today, and you will have a chance to ask questions. We've broken the session down into smaller sections, and we'll be answering your questions at the end of each session. If you do have questions during the presentation, you can enter them into the question box on your GoToWebinar control panel. This question box is located in the lower right-hand side of the window. At the end of the webinar, we'll open the floor for a final question and answer session, just in case you have a few more questions you'd like to ask. So I'm going to pass it over to Julie now, and she'll dive right into our live training demo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. So the first thing I'm going to do is take you guys through the BigRoad mobile application and take you through basically a typical day for your drivers. But before we go ahead and start with the application, first I'll cover how to install the app onto your device, and then also how you would install the dash link into the truck. So within your device here, you'll see an icon. Depending if you're an Apple user or an Android user, you'll go into the Play Store or the App Store to go in and download the BigRoad application. Once the application is downloaded, you'll see the BigRoad icon on your device. You'll just click on it to launch it, and you'll sign in with the email address and password. If you're part of a fleet, you would just use the email address that they invited you in with, or you can just create your own account. To install the dash link into your truck, once you receive the dash link, you'll receive the dash link, a cable, a driver card, and a few stickers alongside with it. So just attach the dash link to the cable, take it out to your truck, and then you'll just plug in the dash link into your ECM port. We do recommend that you can keep the dash link tied up by either using some Velcro tape, or you can use some zip ties as well. Once it's installed into the truck, the next thing you'll need to do is to provision it on the website. So I'll take you guys through the website provisioning after the mobile application. And then once that is completed, the system will know to automatically connect your device to that dash link. So when you guys are all connected and you sign into the application, the first thing or the first screen that you're going to see is a list of all of the trucks that are added within your fleet. I'm going to go ahead and sign into my 1624 here. Once you sign in, it brings you into the main screen of the mobile application. So you'll see this big circle here. This is our duty status wheel. Once you click on this, you'll notice all of the major duty statuses will show up here. So you have off duty, sleeper. You can't put yourself into driving because the dash link will do that for you. You can go into on duty, and this is also where you can start personal conveyance and yard move. At any time, you can select duty status with a note, so you can write in any notes alongside the duty status, such as fueling, pre-trip, whatever you may need. So I'm just going to go ahead and go on duty. Now that I'm on duty, you can see my circle. It is all green here, telling me I'm clear to go for my day. And you'll see that my clock has changed here. So it's counting down because I am running under the 70-hour, 8-day cycle. It's counting down a full 14 hours of my on-duty time for today. Anytime you or your drivers make a duty status change, the clock will change with that, so they are well aware of exactly where they're sitting within their daily limits. Once your drivers go on duty, the next thing that they need to do is enter in their shipping information and also complete a pre-trip for that day. So to do that, you're going to select daily logs. At the very bottom of this screen, there's a gray button that says view logs. And then you'll go ahead and select today's date. Here you can see we have log details right here, and then we have header details here as well. So we'll just go ahead and complete our pre-trip, and then we'll go in and complete our header information. So underneath of the log details here, if I just scroll down, I'll eventually see vehicle inspection report at the bottom of this screen. I'm going to select new inspection. So here you can see at the top of this list is the truck that I'm currently signed into. So I'll go ahead and do my inspection for this truck. At any other time, if your drivers are swapping out truck or trailers throughout their day, they can come here and enter in any other trucks or other trailers as well. So once I click on my truck, you'll notice here a lot of this information will pull over for your drivers. So my truck number, my license plate number, a timestamp, odometer readings will pull over as well. My test environment just doesn't look like it's pulling them over right now. Also, location will pull over for your drivers. So the only thing that they need to do here is select whether or not they found any defects. If they found a defect, they'll check off this box. They will be required to leave a note to say exactly what that defect is. If they did not find any defects, they can just leave that blank and they can go ahead and hit save at the very bottom of this screen. Now that our pre-trip is done here, I'll just scroll down. I can apply my signature to my inspection report and then go ahead and hit sign inspection. Next, I need to fill out the header information on my daily log. So right here to the right here, I'm going to click on header. And I'll enter in this information. You may see an add button here. Me, it's showing edit right now because I've already signed into the app a little bit earlier today. So if I hit edit, we'll just go down the list here. You'll notice I'll have the ability to select any co-drivers underneath of the header information. So once you select pick co-driver, a list of all of the other drivers within your fleet will populate here for you. Scrolling down, you'll see the carrier address will automatically populate in the app for you. So this is the address that is entered in on the website. If you operate in branches, you do have the option to put in a home terminal address here. Once you enter in this address once, the system will remember that and apply it to your logs moving forward until you take it off. Scrolling down, you can see shipping documentation. So legally, we need to have some kind of information entered in underneath of the shipping documents here. You can see I have shipping documents of tires. I entered that in earlier, so it's still rolling over. I can enter in any other information here as well. And then you'll just see a list of my current shipping documents. Next, trailer information. The system will remember any trailers that you've entered in from your previous day. If you need to add a new number, just type it in here and select add trailer. Scrolling down, drivers have the ability to change their time zones, their duty cycles, or to turn off their recap in the screen as well. And a recap is just a recap of where they're sitting within their cycle limits, just so they're well aware. And then lastly, any notes, if your drivers want to enter them in, they can do so here. It's not required. Once this information is all complete, they'll select done. Now that we've done our pre-trip and our header information, we'll go back onto the main screen of the app. And now we can go ahead and start driving. So over here, this is my simulator just so I can show you the full system here. I'm going to go ahead and put this into motion for you guys. So as soon as wheels are in motion, the system will put your drivers on the drive line. So notice here as well, my clock has changed. So it's telling me I have 7 hours and 55 minutes left of drive time until I'm legally required to take that 30-minute break. So just another example that the duty status clock will change every time your drivers make a status change. Say your drivers have, or say we've been driving, for a few hours now and we want to go ahead and take our break. Your drivers will not be able to make any changes here until the truck is completely stopped. So once I stop my vehicle, The system does take about 5 minutes to put your drivers from driving to on duty, but as soon as the truck is completely stopped and they don't want to wait that 5 minutes, say, to go onto their break, they can go ahead and manually change that status. Again, the truck has to be completely stopped though. I'll click on the duty status circle and I'll put myself off duty to take my 30-minute break. Here you can see it's counting down 30 minutes, so I'm well aware of when I can go back on duty. The next two features I'm going to show you here is yard move and personal conveyance. So from that duty status wheel, for your drivers to put themselves in personal conveyance, they need to select begin personal use. Once they select begin personal use, they will be required to leave a note to say why they are in personal use. So I'll just say I'm bobtailing home at the end of my shift and go ahead and hit save. So here you can see on my duty status wheel, you can see personal. I'm now personal conveyance. I can go ahead and hit home. In order for your drivers to use personal conveyance, they need to be off duty. They cannot be on dispatch and they cannot have a trailer attached. Once they're home or they need to end the personal use, they click on that duty status wheel and you'll see end personal use here. The next feature I'll show you is yard move. So from the duty status wheel, you will select start a yard move. And you'll also have to make a note to say why you're using the yard move. So we'll just say moving in yard, pretty straightforward. And then we'll hit save. Once your drivers put themselves into yard move automatically, they will go on duty as per the ELD ruling. So it'll go against their on duty time for the day, not their driving time for the day. Once their yard move is complete, they'll select this duty status wheel and they'll go ahead and hit end yard move. Just note, yard moves need to be used off of public roads. So the next part of the app that I'll take you guys through is roadside inspection, what it looks like for your drivers and what it looks like for DOT officers. With every dash link that we ship out, we do send driver cards along with them. Those driver cards give DOT and the driver instructions on how to inspect the app. It is very important that your drivers have these in with the truck at all time. If DOT asks for these driver cards and your driver cannot provide it, they could be in violation. So we'll go into daily logs. At the very bottom of this screen, we'll select inspect logs. Then we'll go ahead and select how many days we are inspecting, depending on if you're on the US cycle or the Canadian cycle. We'll go ahead with the 7 days plus today and then inspect logs. Here you'll see some instructions. So first one says show DOT your driver card, and 2, tap inspect on screen and give your device to the DOT officer. So your drivers will select inspect on screen. And then they'll get this little note here saying, please give the device over to the inspector. At that point, your drivers have officially launched inspection mode and they can hand the device over. So here are some more instructions for DOT. A lot of this is all the same information that is on our driver cards as well. And the DOT officer, they have the option just to see header information. So this will show odometer readings, shipping documents, trailer information, or they can go ahead and inspect the logs. So once they hit inspect logs, they can select the date that they want to go to. So we'll just go ahead and select today's date. And then they'll see the graph. Below the graph, they'll see what time you had signed into the truck at. They'll also see the DashLink auto recorded events. So they can expand these events by selecting this triangle right here. And then what they're seeing right now, you can see a log in and log out. So these are not referring to when your driver is actually logging in and out of the app. This is actually referring to when they've made a connection to the DashLink. So log in, I made a connection to the DashLink. 8:40, you can see my connection was disabled. So on and so forth. Looks like I have a few log in and log outs for today. Scrolling down, they'll see each duty status, how long it lasted, what time it started, and then they'll see the location as well. DOT will have access to see odometer readings, engine hours, and origins as well. Scrolling down here to the bottom, this is where they'll see the inspection report. So you can see the one I've created with you guys today at 2:06. I did not find any defects and my signature is applied here. Our DOT can go through the days one by one just by selecting the arrows at the top of the screen. But once they get to that 8th day, you'll see that they cannot go back any further. They also have the ability just to quickly see the header information here as well. So if I select header, I don't have too much information for these past few days, but they'll have access to that as well. So they'll see driver license information, driver information, co-driver, carrier information, shipping documents, and so on. Once DOT is finished with their inspection, we'll go ahead and hit End Inspection. Please return the device to the driver, and then the driver will hit Done, and it'll bring the driver back into the main screen of the app. So from there, I'm going to show you guys what editing looks like within the app. So editing for drivers, it is a little bit restricted. So drivers will not have the ability to change any drive time that was automatically recorded by the dash link, but they will have the ability to change any on-duty or off-duty statuses if they need to. So to make those changes, they'll select Daily Logs. At the very bottom of the screen, we'll select View Logs, and then we'll go into today's date. Scrolling down, you can see all of my duty status events here. So we'll just click on this first one here is on duty. Once your drivers click on it, it will highlight blue, and then we'll go ahead and hit Edit. In this next screen, the only thing that you can make a change to here is the duty status. You won't have any ability to change the times here. So I could change that on duty status to off duty, sleeper, or on duty. So I'll go ahead and put myself into the sleeper. Scrolling down, I'll have to leave a note to say exactly why I'm making the change. And we'll just say in sleeper here. Once you've made the note, the drivers will have to hit save. So here you can see my note. It's down here on this duty status event here that I made the change to. This note, administrators on the admin side will see, DOT will see in roadside inspection, and the driver sees as well. If I try to change this driving of 1 minute that I created today with you guys, I can highlight it blue. I can select edit. But the only thing, because my fleet does allow personal conveyance, I can put myself into off-duty driving, or I can put myself on-duty yard move here. I will have to make a note to say why I've made that change. Again, that note is visible to administrators and to roadside inspection as well. So next, I'll take you back to the main screen of the application, and I'll take you through the messages part here. So once you click on this, drivers will have the ability to send messages over to any other user within the fleet just by selecting New Chat. Any messages that are sent back and forth, there's no way to delete them in the app or on the administrator side of BigRoad, so just keep that in mind. Drivers also have the ability to check in. Once they select check-in, Google Map will populate with a pinpoint of their exact location. They can enter in any note. So for instance, if they're stuck behind traffic, a big traffic jam ahead, they can check in with any dispatchers using the check-in. And then lastly, documents. Your drivers have the ability to send over images to the administrator side of BigRoad. So for one example, they could send over a fuel receipt if they need to. So they can select camera, or they can choose a picture that's already been taken within their device. Once they hit send to dispatch, this image will populate on their trip sheet on the administrator side of BigRoad. For any drivers who are border crossing, they will have to manually change their duty cycle within the app. So a quick way to change that will be going to Daily Logs. And right here, you can see my cycle. I'm operating under the 60-hour, 7-day. I can change my cycle here by selecting Rules. And then from the list here, depending on where you're going, you can go ahead and make that change. Ending the day in BigRoad. So you'll have to put yourself to off duty, and then you'll have to go and apply your signature to your daily log. So I'll go ahead and go Daily Logs. At the very bottom of this screen, I'll select View Logs. I can go ahead and select today's date. Scrolling down underneath of all my duty status events, I can select Sign Daily Log. So now it's telling me that I have some validation warnings for today and would I like to fix them. So this is just an example that if there is something missing within the application or that daily log for today, the app will tell your driver. So I'll just go ahead and fix problems. Fix problems. Oh, it looks like my location did populate there. I was missing a location, but my system may be a little bit slow here. So I'll go ahead and go assign daily log. Here, I'm just saying that I certify that my log is true and correct. I'll go to agree. And then you can see my signature has applied to my daily log for that day. Going back to the main screen of the app, after I go off duty and I sign my log, the last thing I want to do is make sure I fully sign out of the app by selecting the menu at the top right corner and going to sign out. And then lastly, if you need to make changes to your signature, from the menu at the top right corner of the app, you can go into the settings. From the settings menu, you can select my profile. And this is where if you scroll down, you can go ahead and make changes to your password, or you can set up, your signature, or you can go ahead and set up your signature here as well. So that was a quick overview of the BigRoad mobile application. I will check to see if there's any questions.
So again, if you have any questions, you can type them right into that question box in the GoToWebinar control panel. We'll just give you a few minutes here. Question here from Amy. What if the driver has to put in all of the locations, stops, and odometer readings for every trip? Also, how do you stop the odometer from running behind 20 miles from what the truck is reading versus what BigRoad is reading?
Hi, Amy. So for your first question there, what if the driver has to put in all information such as location, stops, and odometer readings? I'm wondering if they are making a connection to the dash link. If you can verify that they are connecting, the dash link typically puts in all of that information for them. If they're just running E-log, that's when they would have to put in all that information. So just double check that there is a connection there. If there is a connection there, this is definitely something that our support would have to diagnose. Also about the odometer running 20 miles behind. At the beginning of your shift, your drivers can go in and calibrate the odometer reading. So on the app here from the main screen, there's a menu at the top right corner. You can select settings, and then your drivers will select dash link. Here, this is where they can adjust the odometer. If it is off by the 20 miles, they can go ahead and fix that here at the beginning of their day.
All right, Julie, I think that's all the questions for now, so you can move on to the web app.
All right, perfect. So now we'll move to the administrator side of BigRoad. So once you log into BigRoad at app.bigroad.com, you'll enter in your email address and your password. You'll notice that you can navigate through the system with the 5 tabs at the top of the screen here. So the first tab that we're going to start at is the Fleet tab. So once you hit Fleet, you'll see it automatically defaults to the settings. Over to the right, there's a gray edit button. So this is where you're going to configure the settings for your fleet. First, you'll need to make sure that the name for your company is correct and that your DOT number is correct here as well. Over to the right, you'll want to confirm that your headquarters address is correct as well. Again, this is the address that will populate in the app for your drivers, so they don't have to enter that in. And then confirm that you're running under the correct time zone here as well. Scrolling down, you'll see the hours of service rule default. So this duty cycle will automatically default to the US 70-hour 8-day. If this is not your cycle, go ahead and choose yours from the list here. The vehicle type automatically populates to property carrying. If you are passenger carrying, you can just go ahead and switch that here. Scrolling down, we'll talk about exceptions. So if any of these exceptions apply to your fleet, you'll check them off here. So this would be a fleet-wide exception. If you have a few drivers that do run the short haul operations, you would not want to check this off here. You would want to check this off for only those few drivers who that exception applies for. And I'll show you how you can do that individually after this. Scrolling down, data retention, this is referring to trip sheet information. So we ask you here, keep historical location information, automatically defaults to forever. If you wanted to change this, we do recommend that you keep this within the 180 or 190 days. If you change this, you will get a warning saying all location data older than the specified number of days will be deleted from the system. So this could potentially affect mileage reports if you have this set to 30 days or anything less than the 180. Again, we recommend that you keep this to forever, but it's up to you. Over to the right, you'll see fleet messaging. So you have the ability to turn on or off messaging between your drivers. Messages for the admins, they'll show here. So this arrow at the top of the screen, administrators have the ability to see every message that's being sent back and forth within BigRoad. So even if it's between driver and driver, admins will still see that. At the bottom here, you can select new message. And admins have the ability to message all drivers at once, all dispatchers, or they can go in and select individual drivers here as well. You can also minimize this by selecting the arrow. Scrolling down, let's talk about the ELD features. So you can see ELD is already turned on for our training fleet here. If you're a brand new customer, you will need to go ahead and turn this on. Once you turn on ELD compliance, the carrier edit will automatically turn on for you and the unidentified driving as well. Personal conveyance over to the right, we leave this up to administrators to decide whether or not they want their drivers to use this. As you can imagine, it is a feature that could potentially be abused. If you uncheck it here, your drivers just won't have the option to use personal conveyance within the app. Yard move, this is another feature we leave up to administrators. So yard move allows your drivers to move within a yard without it counting down from their daily drive limits for the day. Again, if you don't want to allow this, just uncheck it here, and then it won't be an option for your drivers within the app. Once you're finished configuring the settings, you'll just go ahead and hit Update Fleet, and I'll just go ahead and cancel out of mine. Next, I'll take you through this blue menu here over to the left. So users, this is where you'll start inviting your drivers or any other admins into the fleet by selecting Invite User over on the top right corner. Once you invite your user, you'll type in their email address, and next you'll be asked to give them a role. So there's 4 different roles within BigRoad, and they all have different meanings with them. So the administrator role, admins are the only ones that can make changes to the fleet settings that I just took you through, and they are the only ones that can invite any users into the fleet. Administrators have full view access of the system, so they can see daily logs, trip sheet information, violations, but they cannot make any changes to daily logs. Dispatchers, they only have full view access of the system. Dispatchers cannot make any changes to the fleet settings, and they cannot make any changes to the logs. They can go in and view location, trip sheet information, daily logs. They can also run mileage reports. Driver, pretty straightforward. They have the driver role. If a driver were to log in on the website, which they would be able to, they'll only be able to see their own logs and their own trip sheet information. They would not be able to see anything fleet-wide. Lastly, safety managers, they have full view access of the system, and they are the only ones that can make changes to the driver daily logs. Safety managers cannot invite users into the fleet, and they cannot change the fleet settings. Once you invite a user into the fleet, you'll see their names will appear here. Over to the right, you have a quick access to remove them from the fleet, or you can select Edit. Once you hit Edit, this is where you can set any exceptions or duty cycles driver by driver. So any changes that I make here, they would just apply to me, not to my other colleagues within my fleet. Next, we'll talk about removed. Once you remove a user from your fleet, they'll come to this page here. That way you'll always have access to their logs from the day they joined the fleet until the day they were removed. If you have seasonal drivers, you can just quickly reinvite any drivers here as well. Next, we'll talk about trucks. So when we're going into the the app demo here, I did mention that trucks need to be provisioned on the website first before you can connect to them. So this is where you'll add in your trucks for the first time and equip them with the dash link. So at the top right corner, you'll select Add Truck. Here you'll put in your truck number, you'll put in the license plate number, and then you'll select ELD. And then you'll select device pairing by. So you can either pair the dash link by the VIN number or by the dash link device ID. So the dash link device ID will be found on the actual dash link, or you can go ahead and select VIN. You'll just type in the VIN up top here, and then you can also just type in the dash link device ID here, and then you'll select Add Truck. Once that truck is entered in and you're pairing by either the device ID or the VIN number, once your driver signs into that truck, the system will automatically know to look for that specific dash link. If your driver is connecting for the first time in the app, the system will prompt them just to confirm vehicle information. So that'll be make, model, year, VIN number, and odometer readings as well. Next, we'll talk about groups here. So within the system, you have the ability to sort your drivers by groups. You can see we have 2 groups created here within our training fleet. If you wanted to add a group, the top right corner, you'll select Add. And then next, you'll select any admins or drivers that you want added into the fleet here, or into the group, sorry, and then you'll hit Save. The groups function, this will show up on the dashboard tab, the driver tab, and the trucks tab as well. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration. Once we go to the drivers tab, you'll see a list of all of the drivers within your fleet. You can see the 4 of us are showing up here. Top right corner, show group. You can see I'm currently looking at all of the drivers. Group A, if I select this, you'll see that it narrows down the search here. So I'm only seeing Alex and Anna. So it's just a way, especially if you are managing in branches, you can separate your drivers by branch, and then you'll always have the ability to view all drivers at any time. So we'll go back to the fleet tab here. Billing, this is where you'll see your BigRoad invoices. Next is apps. This is where if you use either Lytics or Selectus, you can enable access here. And then lastly here, the ELD readiness report. So the ELD readiness report will just tell you which drivers, which trucks are ready for ELD. If they're not ready, it'll show you exactly why. So you can see all of our trucks are ELD ready. Scrolling down, we're having a few issues with some of our drivers. So let's just take a look at Alex here. You can see we're missing his license information, his issuing state information, and he still needs to update his BigRoad app in order to be ELD compliant. Once you click on any one of these hyperlinks, it'll take you to the page where you need to make those changes so that driver is ELD compliant. So I'll just go ahead and type in his license number here and the issuing state. So that sums up the fleet tab. This is where you'll configure the settings. So duty cycles, personal conveyance, yard move. And this is also where you will invite your users for the first time and add in any trucks. From here, we will move right over to the dashboard. So the dashboard tab will show you which drivers are at risk, how many daily logs within your fleet are at risk, and if you have any unassigned driving. So here you can see that we don't have any unassigned driving right now. But I have 4 drivers who are at risk. So that means we're all at risk right now. And I have 7 daily logs that are at risk, but I have 25 that are safe. So looking down here, you'll see a list of all of your drivers within your fleet. The drivers who are more at risk will always populate at the top of this list. Next, you'll see their duty status. And then you'll see how many daily logs that they have at risk. Then we'll break down what the risks are. So the first one here is driving without available time. So if your drivers have gone over their daily limits, or if they've gone over their cycle limits, they'll have a violation here. Form and manner. So this is referring to, say, for instance, a location did not pull over onto the log. That would be a form and manner error. Or if your driver did not enter in any shipping documentation, that would also be a form and manner error. And then lastly, missing signature, pretty straightforward. The driver hasn't signed the log. You can click on your driver's name here. And then it'll show you a breakdown of their past 8 days, and it'll show you exactly where to look for the violation. So here I can quickly see that January 5th, Anna's missing a signature. January 9th, she has some form and manner errors. You'll also notice that you have access to see what their daily limits are, so their drive and shift time for the day, and then what's left in their cycle time here as well. So that's the dashboard tab. This will show you where the violations are, who's in violation, and give you a brief breakdown of what the violation is. The next tab I'll take you through is the drivers tab. So the drivers tab will populate a list of all of the drivers within your fleet, and then it'll show you a map. So the map will just show you where your drivers are, and once you start rolling out the system, you'll see different colors here. You can see I'm in gray and Anna's in gray as well. That's telling you that they're off duty, not driving. Any drivers that show up in green will tell you that they're on duty driving, and then any in yellow will just tell you that they're on duty, but they're not driving. Scrolling down, you'll see your driver list. You'll see the truck that your driver signed into, and then you'll see the driver's current duty status. You'll also see the last contact and last position. So last contact is the last time the server has seen any information from your driver's device. There's two main reasons why the last contact would be in the past. First would be when they sign out at the end of their shift. That would be the last contact that the server has seen from their device. Or if they're driving through a dead zone, that would be the last contact. Sometimes you can see the last contact will be behind by 20 minutes or even an hour or two. And that's just telling you that they're probably driving through a dead zone. Once they make that internet connection, their logs will update in real time. If they're driving, they have great signal, great reception. Their logs will upload basically every 5 seconds. Over to the right, you'll see that we break down their drive and shift time for the day and their cycle time as well. So once you click on a driver, it'll bring you into what we call the driver hub. So up top here, you can see the email address your driver is using, their phone number, the last truck. Again, we highlight the last contact that they've made with the system. And over to the right, you'll see home time zone and duty cycle. So if you have other drivers that are operating under different duty cycles and time zones, this is where you'll see which duty cycle and time zone they're operating under. And then we'll take a look at daily log here for Alex. So here I'm taking us back here to January 3rd to view a daily log. On the daily log, you'll see the date, the truck that they signed into. Over to the right, you'll see truck information such as VIN number, odometer readings, distance, engine hour, and engine and engine hours. So engine and engine hours are very similar to the odometer readings and total distance. So it'll show you how many engine hours they had for that day, and then it'll show you total engine hours here as well. Scrolling down, you'll see carrier name and address. And then moving down more, you'll see any notes that your driver has added into the system, and you'll also see their signature. Next, you'll see their graph. Underneath of the graph, you'll see each duty status, how long it was, the location, what the odometer readings were, what the engine hours were, and also what the origin was. So here you can see that we have one DashLink auto recorded event. So these are an ELD requirement. So they're automatically populated on your driver, on the log, I should say. So at any time you can expand or collapse these details here. So if I select show details, I can see at 8:16 that login, that's the first time that Alex made a connection to his DashLink for that day. Anytime you can hide those details. Scrolling down, you'll see their duty statuses. You can see their notes are populating here. I know that might be a little hard to see here, but there is a note saying personal issue there, and you can see the driver had entered that in. Any auto events are events that were entered in by the system. Any driver events is when your driver has made a change. And then if you see any carrier origin here, that's just showing you that there was a carrier edit. Scrolling down here, we'll take a look, see if I can find some personal conveyance, and I did. So here you can see that Alex indicated that he was completing a yard move at 8:58 a.m. And then down here, you can see special driving mode clear. So at 9:15, you can see that Alex came out of his yard move feature here. Scrolling down past all of the duty statuses, you'll see a certification history. So this is how many times your driver has applied their signature to the log. The ELD ruling allows a driver to certify their log numerous times within a day to allow for midday carrier edits if something had happened with the system or if they need a correction. But this certification history will be visible to admins, be visible to drivers, and it'll also be visible at a roadside inspection. Scrolling up here, if I need to make a change to my driver's log, there's 3 things that need to be met. First of all, I need to have that safety manager role. Second of all, I need to make sure that my driver has a DashLink connection. You can confirm that by seeing this DashLink symbol beside their truck number. And then lastly, their driver needs to have a signature on the daily log. Once the signature is applied, you'll see that this Edit Log button will open up. So I'll select Edit Log. And then in this next screen, there we go. You'll see that my changes here are pretty limited. I do have the ability to change any rules, so such as duty cycles, time zones, any information like that, or exceptions. I can change them here. Next, if I scroll down, I will have the ability to enter in any shipping documents or trailer numbers here for my driver. And then I can apply any notes here if need be. You'll notice that you won't be able to make any adjustments to odometer readings, VIN information, or truck information here. Scrolling down, you'll see the graph, and then again, you'll see every duty status, how long it was, when it happened, odometer readings. But then you'll see a new hyperlink that says edit here. So this is where you can go in as a safety manager and change a status if you need to for a driver. So we'll take a look at this on duty not driving status here for 8/18 for Alex. If I hit edit, in this next screen here, the only option I have is just to change the duty status. I don't have the ability to adjust any times here. So I can go ahead and change this for my driver. So if they were actually off duty, I can go ahead and change it. I'll write a note here. This note that you're typing in here, this is a note that will show at roadside inspection, will also show in the driver app as well. Once I hit save, the next thing I need to do is send the suggestion over to the driver. So you'll see this orange button at the top right corner of the system. I'll send this and then I'll be asked to leave another note. So this is the note that the driver will see when they go in to either accept or reject this suggestion. Send it, and then now we need to wait for the driver to either accept or reject that suggestion. Next, we'll take a look at this View History button. So this View History will basically show you a history for that whole daily log for that day. What you're seeing up top here is what the current daily log looks like. Underneath of that, you'll see a list of any event changes down below. And then you'll also see any notes as well. So if I scroll up here, because I know I made a change to the status up top. Once I click on this duty status here, it'll highlight that status down below. So I can see it here. And it's not applying my edit because the driver has not signed off on it just yet. Once they do, you'll see the edits down below, and then you'll see a note as well. So back to the daily log view. The last thing you can do here is print logs. So once you select print logs, you will select the dates that you want to print out for. You can go back a few months at a time if you'd like to. This is also what you would do in case you are being audited as well. Once you select the dates here, you'll select Save and Print. It'll open up a new page, so you have the ability to download those to your computer so you can email them, or you can print them off for your records as well. So now that we're done with the daily log view, we'll go ahead into the trip sheet information. So a trip sheet will always show you an approximate route that your driver has taken that day, and then you'll see total mileage here as well. Underneath of the total mileage, anytime your driver has stopped for more than 5 minutes at a time, we will populate that address of where they had stopped, and you'll see how long they were there for. So you can see that Alex was here for 2 hours and 52 minutes, and then you can see he was at this next location for 5 hours. On the graph here, you could potentially see two different lines. So you can either see a blue dotted line or you can see a blue solid line. So the blue solid line is telling you that your driver has great connection, great area, great reception. There's probably nothing wrong with the way their logs were updating on the administrator side. If you're seeing a dotted line here, that's telling you that there was poor reception. Maybe it's a GPS dead zone. Again, it'll always show you an approximate route. Once your drivers send over any documents, so any images such as fuel receipts, so on, they'll populate here for you, and then you'll have the ability to either print them off, save them to your computer, or you can just leave them attached to the trip sheet. Next, we'll take a look at the vehicle inspection reports. So here we can see that Alex inspected his truck at 8:55 in the morning, and you'll see the location here as well. And then you'll see whether or not they found any defects. If they did, you'll see a check mark underneath of yes. If not, you'll see a check mark under no. If they did find a defect, their notes will show up here for you to see. And if there is a major defect, you can go ahead and select print inspections. And then that way you can print that inspections for a mechanic to sign off. So you can either send that or email him the inspection, or you can print it off for them to apply their signature. So that's the drivers tab. The next tab I'll take you through is the trucks tab. In all honesty, I may just breeze right over this because the truck tab will show you all of the same information that the drivers tab does. So you'll see a list of your trucks, the driver signed into it, their current duty status, again, their last contact and last position, and then what's left in the driver's drive and shift time for the day, and then for their cycle time as well. So we'll skip right over that and go into the reports tab. There's two different reports that you can create within the BigRoad system. So the first one is a vehicle mileage report. At any time, you can adjust the title for the report here if you need to, and then you'll select the days that you want to run the report for. Again, you can go back months at a time. I wouldn't suggest to go back way too far, but you could do 3 or 4 months at a time. And then you'll select the truck that you want to run the report for. If you want to run it for every truck in your fleet, you can just go ahead and select the box up top. And then you'll select create report. I'll just cancel out of this and show you a report that we've already created. So you can see on the 9th, I created a mileage report here. So it says ready to view. And then what this report will show you is mileage based by jurisdiction. So this is to help you with your IFTA reporting. At any time, you can view this in an Excel spreadsheet, so you can make any changes to it. You can save it to your computer, or you can print it off for your records. The other report that you can do is a driver hours and mileage report. So typically, payroll could potentially use this report. You can, again, rename the title if you need to, and then select the dates, and then select the drivers that you want the information for. I'll just show you one that's already been run within our system here. So you can see I ran one on the 9th. If I select ready to view, what it's showing you from December 31st, through to January 9th is showing you 10 days of data. So I can see that Alex worked 2 days out of those 10 days. He drove for 38 minutes. This is his on-duty not driving hours, his total hours, and then his total mileage here as well. At any time, you can view this in an Excel spreadsheet. Again, you can save it to your computer, print it off for your records, or you can just leave it underneath of the reports tab. So that brings us back to the fleet tab, which sums up the whole administrator side of BigRoad. So now we'll take a look and answer any questions that have come across.
All right, so any questions, you can just type them right into that question box in the GoToWebinar control panel. So we'll give you a few minutes here. Question here from Randy. How do you get the signature on the log?
Hi, Randy. So the signature needs to be applied by your drivers through the app. So on the main screen of the app, you'll go into daily logs. At the bottom, you'll select view logs, and then you'll go in today's date or whatever date you need to sign. So I know I'm missing a signature here for Wednesday, so I'll just select Wednesday. Scrolling down at the bottom of this screen is where you will apply your signature. So you can see I'm showing a violation here. Once I hit sign daily log, I'll agree, and then my signature will apply here. If you're asking about how do you create your signature for the very first time, let me just take you back to the main screen of the app. So once you create your account, you'll want to go to your profile. So the menu at the top right corner, you'll select settings, and then go into my profile, And this is where you can create that signature. So then this is what will apply on your logs moving forward.
So a question here from John. How do I update the BigRoad app? We installed the app today and it already says that it needs to be updated. So it is very important that all of you and your drivers are running on the most up-to-date version of BigRoad. It is going to be noticeable if you go into the App Store on your phone, whether that's the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, and there will be a little notification in red that lets you know that the app needs to be updated, so you can just easily update it from the App Store. If you are having issues with this at all or something's confusing you, you can definitely reach out to our support team at support@bigroad.com and ask them for some, step-by-step instructions.
Also, sorry, John, to just add on to that, if you just installed that today, I would actually recommend just calling into support. They would be able to see the version you are running, and maybe they could help troubleshoot that with you, because it does seem odd if you just installed it today that you would need an update. I would recommend calling in for sure.
Question here from Veronica. Does having a Bluetooth headset interfere with the dash link?
Hi, Veronica. So having a Bluetooth headset, it won't interfere with the dash link as long as you are using a device that has come out within the past 5 years. If you're using an older device that's 5 years or older, you would potentially have some interruption there, which could potentially interrupt the connection from the dash link in your device. So we wouldn't recommend you using a headset, but as long as you're using a newer phone, it's absolutely fine.
Question here from John. Is it mandatory to record unassigned driving time?
Hi, John. So yes, ELD ruling, it is mandatory to record the unassigned driving. So that'll show up on the dashboard for you. When your drivers sign into the app, they will be prompted to either accept or reject that driving. They'll only be asked to do that once. If they reject it, they won't be asked to accept it again. It'll just stay underneath of your unassigned driving records on the dashboard.
And that looks like it is all of your questions for today. Thank you guys so much for attending. I will be sending out a follow-up email after this that includes a full-length recording of a training webinar, so you can watch it again or share it with your team. But once again, thank you so much for attending and have a great day.